Welcome to Sing, Talk, Play live music sessions at CJSW Radio. I am your host, Ramin Yazdi, and normally when something hisses, I can't concentrate until I find what it is, unplug it, or throw it out of the window. This episode, however, we were lucky enough to catch the band This Hisses, who are currently on tour, jumping from city to city across Canada.
Sweet, I guess I'll start. I'm JP, the drummer, the crazy one of the band.
You know, you look like a JP.
He's the party guy.
You totally look like a JP. If I had to name you now,
French
I'd probably
mustache.
say JP.
He's also the most famous member of the band because of the mustache.
Yeah.
Most recognizable.
This is Pat, he's the guitar player.
This is Pat.
I talk a lot. I play guitar, I step on pedals and stuff.
Yeah, and I've known Patrick a long time because he used to be in a band with my brother called Under Pressure, and they were you know they made a lot of good records, and I grew up hearing touring stories about Patrick, and then when I was starting this band, I thought, I wonder what Patrick's up to these days.
Who better to tour with?
So my name's Julia Rickman, and we are This Hisses. So that was Blacksmith, and lyrically that song is about illness and searching for healing, but not so much mainstream healing, and more of a spiritualist kind of healing, searching for the alternative methods, and that the healing is deeper. It's not just a plain physical, but it's like sort of this all-encompassing illness. And when I started writing the song, I brought this sort of more straight up kind of punk riff, I guess, to Patrick, and then he instantly made it a lot prettier.
I wanted to sound like the Smiths and the Misfits, but for different parts of the song.
I've talked to a lot of singers in rock bands who gravitate towards opera, or started studying opera, or something of that. How does that translate?
Well, yeah, I still train operatically, but I feel like it's that technique and that training isn't the only thing I want to do, and I don't feel like it limits me. I feel like I've always wanted to do my own music, and with this band, it's like, I've never been comfortable just sort of doing one thing. So I, like in this band, we're heavily involved with our music videos, we're heavily involved with our, our photo shoots and things. So it's like we have our hands in all the aesthetic parts of what we're trying to do, the sound, the visuals, the promotion, the sunglasses. So it's like that's where I draw upon that like opera diva kind of like, I want that glamour, but I want it on my terms. I don't want to be like knocking on doors begging for someone to say, hey, you could have this part and wear this great outfit and this awesome wig and be on this big stage. I want to be like, okay, these are the Winnipeg film crews that are amazing, and I want to work with them, and I want this DIY stylist and this awesome hairstylist, and I want to be my own diva and not wait for someone to say I could do that. And
well, these days, if you're waiting for, I would hope that bands have more sense to wait around for somebody to give them anything. Because these days, in Canada we have grants and stuff, but it's not, no one's, the days of people farming for bands are over, so if you want something to be a certain way, you have to cobble it together. So
yeah, so that
goes for pretty much everyone.
We just don't wait, we just do it, and for me that's made all the difference in the world as an artist, is that I have done so much and I've performed for so many people and experienced so many things and failed and had successes and all this stuff, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
I'm sure you've gotten this a lot, but what hisses and why haven't you fixed it yet?
Well,
everything, we're old. Our joints, big hiss.
But we do, we're all cat lovers, and we can't remember how the band name exactly started, but
it's one of those list things. You just make a list and then you just pick things, and then eventually you end up with something.
Yeah. And then we say our name in bars, and it's loud, and then you're like, this hisses. What?
We're just the
This
hisses.
hisses. What? This is, and so you've said it like 6 times, and then they're like, oh,
They're
okay.
like, oh, the hisses, great, yeah.
Kisses? You want kisses?
There's another band called that, so it's unfortunate. But
What? There's
Those
not.
are the hisses.
There is
Oh
not.
yeah, of course.
What? Well, there's
It's
no
called
other
Google.
this.
We
There's
like
no other
cats,
this
basically.
hisses.
We Googled it.
So you guys have Google in Winnipeg as well?
Yeah, we've Googled
Okay,
it.
that's great. That's where you're from, Winnipeg.
Someone I know
How
was
confidential
driving
would
the
it be?
Google car last summer in Winnipeg.
That's amazing. Every time I see the Google car, it's like it's seeing like a I don't know, a munchkin or something. It's like this mythic creature.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have the Google backpacks too. They go right into like establishments,
Wow.
and yeah, somebody's like on. So if you're on Google Maps and you want to check out a restaurant, like what the interior looks like in the menu, you can like go into the restaurant with the Google camera.
That's great. I'm a big fan of Winnipeg, actually. Last time I was there was, I think, the first time I drove into Winnipeg. For some reason, I expected it to be black and white because my favorite filmmaker is Guy
Yes.
Madden.
Yes.
But it wasn't black and white, so I was a little bit disappointed, but I'm impressed with the city.
Really, there's been so much stuff coming out in the prairies, like when Paul Lawton was still in Alberta and doing all his Weird Canada blogs. I really found like there was this like whole different level of community starting to form in Western Canada. And yeah, I think that it's always been the best touring for us. It's like the prairies have always been our favorite tours, and now we're excited to.
Oh
to
yeah,
go
it's
into BC.
and a lot more for rock bands. Like we're
Yeah,
a bit of a
loud
heavier
rock band, yeah.
What are some of the highlights of traveling the West?
Endless amounts of really good restaurants and good coffee shops. Nice riverbanks, like Calgary has fantastic river access, same with Saskatoon.
It gets gradually warmer as we leave.
It gets warmer.
Yeah, like
And-
anywhere you go from Winnipeg is warmer.
Yeah. But it's also like the connections to the other bands and musicians across the cities, because it's like we've all been touring for years within other bands too. So there's friends that I'm going to see in Calgary this weekend that I've probably known for 8 years, and when they come through Winnipeg, I put on shows for them. You know, likewise come here, they help us out, put us up at their house, that kind of thing. So it's like I just keep thinking, wow, like some of these people are going to be like lifelong friends.
My love, he shot a sparrow in the end of winter time. Her rosy breath like a plum in the snow. My love, he shot a sparrow in the end of winter time. He found his knees and wept at what he'd done. And I keep waiting till the snow's gone. And I keep waiting to hear the lone song. Yes, I keep waiting to see if our love's gone. This winter's been long, and I'm afraid to sing my song. This winter's been long, I'm afraid to sing my song. My love, he could make fire in the heat of summertime. He shot an nest, and her eggs came tumbling down. My bird is gone like a fabulous sailor. He taught his parole and set fire to them. He washed his hands, he fetched a mail, and he would not shoot again. He watched till the sun was down, and I watched to see if our love's gone. Yes, I watched to see if our love's gone. 'Cause I dug up his gun and I keep it till we're done.
So that was My Love, He Shot a Sparrow. I guess I can say that one was completely inspired by my boyfriend who spent a winter, a Christmas at his farm in northern Saskatchewan, and came back and told me he'd spent all this time shooting sparrows with a BB gun. And I was horrified, and I was like, you're such a gentle
And he's sitting right out
person.
there.
You're so loving. Like, why would you like shoot? And I was just like imagining this like sparrow spilling blood on the white snow, which is exactly
Let's
what
get him
happened.
in here and make him talk about
No.
it.
This is about my version of his reality. So anyway, I just couldn't, and it's like, I tend to write songs about different romantic entanglements I've had, and I hadn't written a song about him yet, I don't think, and or maybe I'd written one. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna write this song about this inspiration, and but it ended up being this murder ballad about a relationship that's falling apart and full of death and destruction, and he loves it.
Where have you guys been, and where are you going?
We so far played Saskatoon and Edmonton, and after this we're doing 2 shows in Calgary, tonight at Broken City and tomorrow at that Rec City with all the houses slated for demolition.
That's gonna be cool.
After this we're gonna go to the Hot Springs for a few days.
Oh yeah.
And then we're gonna play in Vancouver and Abbotsford and Victoria, And then kind of hitting a few of those cities on the way back too. So we're going to be back to Calgary, back to Edmonton, back to Saskatoon, home to Winnipeg, east to Toronto, Montreal, back here for Sled Island.
Yeah.
That's a pretty crazy tour. That's quite wide. So this album that you guys are touring with, some people have said it's beautiful and dark at the same time. Glitter and blood was something I read off of your blog, which I thought was really interesting dichotomy. How did this sound come about?
It sounds like a lot of different things within there, but that's the way we are. Is that almost every song is different. Decidedly, we're trying to go for a different sort of feel, yet within this HISSES sound, you know.
Well, we all like, you know, Susie and the Banshees and Gene Vincent and stuff, so it's just kind of seems, I mean, all those bands were influenced by bands that came before them, so it's kind of, I don't see why you have to pick a subsect of rock music and play it to death, because that's really boring.
Mm-hmm. And just like emotionally too, it's like we want these songs. We all have this urge to do something that is pretty, but we also don't feel totally comfortable doing that unless we're also having this little dark undercurrent of spookiness or of something sinister. It's I think it's like there's so many things we like, but only like we like it but with this. We like it but with this. So it's we've kind of, when we were talking about this with each other, Pat was like, well, we want it every which way. We don't want just one thing. We want all of those things all the time. We want lots of loud, lots of dark, lots of sweetness, lots of prettiness.
I really hate when I go see bands and they just are a garage rock band or a rockabilly band.
It's
or
the same arc, the whole set. Yeah, so when we're making a set or making the order of an album, we try to have it like so you're going on a bit of an emotional journey throughout.
I think we're probably informed by previous bands. Like I played in a hardcore band for years, so I can't really get away from wanting to be very loud sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But also we're trying to go for like a cinematic thing. There's a lot of filmmakers in Winnipeg, and we're all really into films. And we take a lot of our sound from soundtracks, almost.
We actually played a show that Guy Madden curated of his own weird little vignettes of film on the wall. I don't know what to call it.
Hauntings, that's what he called it.
It's called I don't know what it was, though.
It was an installation.
It was
an installation, and we crashed it for Nuit Blanche, and it was wonderful.
This HISSES live at CJSW. I do appreciate many things about live music, sunglasses and mustaches, to name just a few. So all in all, that was fun. Thanks for hanging out, and check back soon for another episode of Sing, Talk, Play, where we try to showcase some of the best music from Western Canada and beyond.
Yeah.